AI might take your first job. So, what happens after college? You're listening to episode 2 of our 7-part series about college, careers, and the future of work in the age of artificial intelligence. You're working toward a degree because you want a career. But what happens if AI starts doing the basic work that graduates used to do to get their first experience? This episode looks at the changing entry-level job market and what you can do now to make sure you graduate with more than just a degree. If you're in college right now, there's a question you might be afraid to ask. What happens if the job I'm studying for doesn't need as many beginners by the time I graduate? Let's talk about it. 1. Your first job used to be the beginning. For generations, the career path was fairly straightforward. You went to college. You earned your degree. You applied for entry-level jobs. A company hired you. They taught you how things worked. You made mistakes. You learned from people around you. And after a few years, you became more experienced and moved into better positions. That first job wasn't necessarily supposed to be glamorous. It was supposed to give you experience. And that experience became your ticket to the next opportunity. But AI is starting to challenge that system. 2. The beginner work is changing. Think about some of the things a junior employee might have done in the past. Basic research. Data entry. Simple reports. First drafts. Basic coding. Scheduling. Document summaries. Customer support. Simple financial analysis. These tasks could take a new employee hours, sometimes days. AI can now help complete some of them much faster. That doesn't mean every job is disappearing, but it does mean companies may need fewer people to perform certain types of beginner work. And that's a problem worth paying attention to, because if companies need fewer beginners, where do graduates get their experience? 3. This is the part nobody wants to talk about. You can't become experienced without someone giving you a chance. But companies often want experience before they'll give you the chance. You've probably seen job advertisements asking for a degree, and then asking for 2 years of experience for an entry-level position. You might look at that and think, how am I supposed to get 2 years of experience if I'm applying for my first job? Now add AI to the situation. If companies can automate some basic tasks, they may decide they don't need as many junior employees. That could make the competition for those first opportunities even tougher. 4. So, what should you do? Don't panic. But don't ignore it either. Your biggest mistake would be waiting until graduation to start thinking about experience. Start now. While you're still in college, look for internships. Volunteer on real projects. Freelance if you can. Join student organizations. Build something outside your coursework. Find businesses or organizations that need help. The goal is simple. Start collecting evidence that you can actually do the work. 5. Stop thinking that your assignments are enough. You might have written 10 essays, completed 20 exams, passed every course, and still struggle to convince an employer that you can perform in a real workplace. That's because academic achievement and practical ability aren't exactly the same thing. Imagine telling an employer, I got an A in marketing. That's useful. But now imagine saying, I created a marketing campaign for a local business, used AI to research the audience, created the content, measured the results, and here's what happened. That's different. You've moved from talking about what you learned to showing what you can do. 6. Build your own experience if nobody gives you a job. This is where you have more control than you might think. If you're studying computer science, build an application. If you're studying marketing, create a campaign. If you're studying finance, analyze a company and explain your findings. If you're studying graphic design, build a portfolio. If you're studying journalism, publish your own work. If you're studying business, create a small project and document what you learned. You don't have to wait for a company to officially hire you before you start building experience. Create opportunities to practice. 7. Learn to use AI before your employer teaches you. Here's something important. Don't wait for your first employer to show you how AI works. Start learning now. Find the tools people in your industry are already using. Learn what they can do. Learn what they can't do. Learn how to check their output. And most importantly, learn how to use AI without blindly trusting it. Because knowing how to generate an answer isn't enough. You need to know whether the answer is actually good. 8. Don't become the person who only knows how to use AI. There's another trap here. You could become very good at prompting AI, but have no real understanding of the subject you're using it for. That's dangerous. If you're studying accounting, understand accounting. If you're studying programming, understand programming. If you're studying law, understand the law. If you're studying marketing, understand people and markets. AI should make your knowledge more useful. It shouldn't replace your understanding. 9. Build skills around your degree. Think about your degree as the foundation. Then add useful skills around it. Communication. Presentation. Research. Problem solving. Data analysis. Project management. Networking. AI literacy. Writing. Critical thinking. The combination is what becomes valuable. A graduate who understands their field and knows how to use AI effectively can be much more useful than someone who only has theoretical knowledge. 10. Start networking before you need a job. This sounds uncomfortable to many students. But networking doesn't have to mean walking into a room and handing out business cards. Start with conversations. Find people who already work in the career you're interested in. Ask them how they got started. Ask what skills employers are looking for. Ask what they wish they'd learned earlier. Ask what AI is changing in their industry. You don't have to ask them for a job. You're trying to understand the market. 11. Create a simple graduate advantage. Before you finish college, aim to have 5 things. Your degree. At least one practical project. Some experience. AI skills relevant to your field. And people who know what you can do. That's a much stronger position than simply graduating and sending hundreds of identical applications. You're giving employers reasons to remember you. 12. A final message. If AI changes the first job you expected to get after college, that doesn't mean your future is over. It means the entry point is changing. And that's something you need to prepare for. Don't wait until graduation to ask, "Who will hire me?" Ask that question now. Then start building the answer. Get experience. Build projects. Learn your industry's AI tools. Talk to people already working in the field. And become someone who can demonstrate real ability. Because when you graduate, your biggest advantage might not be simply saying, "I have a degree." It might be being able to say, "I have a degree. I know how to use AI. I've already done the work. And here's what I can show you."